What is going on today, guys? We're going to go through the entire UFC Fight Night event coming to you this Saturday from Nashville, Tennessee. I thought it was going to be a real shit card, to be honest with you, when it first got announced. Like, a Derek Lewis main event is kind of apex worthy at this point, to be honest. He has some kind of crazy record that's like 26 and 11 or 28 and 15 or some shit like that. Like, Derek Lewis has become super inactive and obviously isn't chasing the top of the division. He's out of the 15 now, I believe, or right outside the top 15, and I don't understand why he's main eventing, but hey, he's a big name. Talison Teixeira could be something big in the heavyweight division. Who knows? He's beaten a Tafa brother recently. Let's dive right into it, starting with the main event. Derek Lewis versus Talison Teixeira. I know I just kind of shit on both of them. 28 and 12. Exactly my point. Talison Teixeira is very untested in the heavyweight division, as most heavyweights are. They don't get past the first round or second round, and if they do, they usually gas out. Derek Lewis is known for that, gassing out and being funny. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love Derek Lewis. Mooning the crowd, my balls was hot. My balls was hot. Shit like that, man. It's hilarious. He's one of my favorite type of fighters, I guess, being just a straight up comedian on the mic, and his Instagram page is even better. But with that being said, as a main event, he's definitely a feature fight worthy given the big name, but as a main event, it's just a bit difficult for me to get behind that because the guy isn't ranked. He's right outside the top 15. I don't understand why he's still main eventing in 2025, unless it's an Apex card, completely necessary. Other than that, I can't get behind it, man. It bothers me. All right. I think Derek Lewis is going to be able to fluke this fucking win because Talison is very untested past the first round. He's very tall, very lengthy for the division. He's a legitimate heavyweight, I think. I mean, he could probably make light heavyweight, to be honest with you. But he is a big boy. He's 6'7". Derek Lewis knows a lot about being big. With that being said, I think Derek Lewis is going to be able to get the TKO in the second round. I think the first round is going to be rough for him on the feet. I think Talison is going to be able to pick apart him at range, land some big shots, but Derek Lewis is usually pretty good in the first round. With that being said, I don't know how Talison Teixeira wins past the first round. On to the next. I digress. Stephen Thompson versus Gabriel Bonfim. Man. We are going to see Wonder Boy's chin be tested in this fight. I know Bonfim is pretty good. He's pretty well-rounded. Stephen Thompson is a weird fucking puzzle to solve, but we've seen when you put pressure on him, don't allow him to have space, he kind of starts to fold. So I think Bonfim is going to be able to do that. He's a good fighter. He's very pressure heavy. He's a lot younger. He's a lot faster. And I think this is going to be the last, maybe the last fight, maybe coming up on the last two fights of Wonder Boy's career. I just don't think he's as good as he used to be, and I don't think his puzzle is quite on the same wavelength as MVP. I just think MVP's puzzle is a lot more difficult because he's a lot faster than Stephen Thompson. You know, with that karate style, real wide fucking stance, it's very difficult to get past. But if you can pressure and get outside of those kicks, we've seen people do well. I digress. On to the next. I'm going with Gabriel Bonfim by third round TKO. I think he's going to get pretty beat up on the feet, but I think he's going to be able to get the finish. Damn, I cannot believe Wonder Boy's still ranked. I mean, he's going on a quite the skid right now, you know? Let's see his last couple fights. Yeah. Damn, the Holland fight was 3 fucking years ago, man. Wow. Okay. Calvin Kattar versus Steve Garcia. I'm very high on Steve Garcia. I think he is legit. I think he has passed the test. And I think he's going to be able to get this one done. But being a marauder against Calvin Kattar, who is way past his prime, and he's just not that good anymore. It's just the fucking truth. That Philly team only has a couple good fighters, and I don't think Calvin Kattar is one of them. I just don't think he's what he used to be. I think Max fucked him up mentally. He's been through surgery after surgery since then. Aljo ragdolled the guy all over the damn canvas. And I just think Steve Garcia is better. I think he's on the come up. I think he has momentum on his side. And I think he's going to show that in this fight. Let's look at Steve Garcia's last couple fights. Yep. He is on a 4-fight win streak? 5-fight win streak. He has a win over Chase Hooper, which is aging very well. Costa, which is aging very well. Doohoo Choi, or just another fucking Choi. Yeah, he's doing well, and I'm excited to see him get this jump up in competition against Calvin Kattar. He's earned it. The featherweights are slowly starting to become one of the best divisions in the UFC, and this is a banger. On to the next. I'm going with Steve Garcia by decision. I think Calvin Kattar is very difficult to finish, especially on the feet. But yeah, I think Steve Garcia's got it. I think he's got what it takes to really make a run in the rankings. I don't know if he'll make it into the top 5. I don't know if he's in that top 5 type of placement, but he's definitely in that 10 to 15. That's for sure. He can definitely fit in there well with some of those other guys. I digress. On to the next. Nate the fucking Train versus Morgan Charrier. I don't know why Morgan's on this card instead of being on the UFC Paris card. I know this is quite a while in between, so maybe he's trying to get a tune-up fight before that one. I was very high on Morgan for a while, and his last couple fights have kind of turned me off from being a fan, given that he's just not as good as some of the other competition as what he looked like. You know, Nathaniel Wood is very good. Chepe Mariscal is very good, but he's beating up cans, man. You know, he's becoming that guy that beats up people we forgot were even in the featherweight division at all. That's kind of where his highlight reel's from. And with a record like 20-11, it's not great. You know, 18-6 is a lot better. And I think Nate the Train's going to be able to get this one done by second round TKO on the ground. I think Nate the Train is legit. I think he's very good against guys who are not in the upper echelon of the division. And I'm excited to see this one. 2 featherweight matchups right outside the top 15, you know, getting their dues back to back. This is going to be 2 high-level fights. Saying anything with high level and Nate the Train in the same sentence is hilarious. But I think it's going to be a good fight, man. I'm excited for it. I digress. On to the next. I'm going with Nate the Train. I think he's going to be able to get that one done. Vitor Petrino versus Austin Lane. I think Vitor Petrino, I think this is his heavyweight debut. I think he got chinned out his last 2 fights, if I'm correct, at light heavyweight. Let's see. Yeah. He lost against Anthony Smith, man. Losing against Anthony Smith is never a good look, man. I forgot about that. It was that guillotine choke. And then he got slept out cold by Dustin Jacoby, which he was losing that fight up until that point anyways. It wasn't... Oof. How long in between fights? December to now. I mean, that's a good break in between. He's a big guy. So he would probably fit in decently well at heavyweight. We know Austin Lane is a bit chinny. He does very well up front, and then he got chinned out in his last fight too. So I don't see this one getting out of the first round. Honestly, I think both guys are going to car crash, and one of them is going to get slumped out cold. Yeah. Vitor Petrino's not that good on the feet, and he definitely doesn't have a grappling type of background. Austin Lane is pretty good on the feet. He might be able to to tick and move, and stay at range. But he is more chinny than Vitor. So I'm wondering how this car crash is going to go. I think Vitor is going to come out explosive and he's going to get this one done in the first round. I think he's going to be able to pressure Austin and get this one done on the feet. Yeah. We're going chin for chin at heavyweight, and I think Vitor has the better chin than Austin Lane. Yeah. 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 Junior Tafa versus Tuco Tokos. You know what? I'm actually really excited for this one. I know everyone likes to make fun of the Tafa brothers, and they're fat and they're overweight and they slow and they don't take their career serious, and the only reason they got into the UFC is because they are Maori. It's the fucking truth. But as much as some of those statements are true, I'm excited to see Junior Tafa's run at light heavyweight. He has a lot of power and he has a decent chin. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is the speed advantage of some of these other guys now. Somebody like Tuco Tokos. It's not going to make a big difference. I understand that. But some of the other people in the division could play a diverse role against Junior, being faster and stronger. These guys have no grappling. So that is a bit of a fucking wrench, bro, because Tuco Tokos is very good at grappling. And I don't know how strong Junior's going to be at light heavyweight. If he can get the knockout early, there's some plus money there, I think. What is he? A slight favorite? Yeah. Tuco Tokos. Oh, man, this is a tough one to pick. I think Junior's going to get it done. I think he's very motivated. I've seen him recently training. He looks shredded for a fucking Tafa brother. He's ready to go on stage and compete against some of the best bodybuilders in the world. You know, for a Tafa brother looking like that, man, you never see that shit. I think he's going to get it done in the first round. I think his boxing's going to be better than Tuco Tokos'. It's going to be a good fight. Let's go. Hopefully the Tafa brothers can become back on top. I digress. Let's go to the prelims. Chris Curtis back at welterweight versus Max Griffin. I think Chris Curtis is going to get this one done. He's very good on the feet. He's very good boxing. I just wish he threw a little bit more power into his shots. And I don't think Max Griffin is that good. Yeah. I don't know how this weight cut's going to go for Chris Curtis. He's been at middleweight for a minute, if I'm correct. Yeah. Yeah. His last 3 fights were at middleweight. Yeah. 4 or 5 fights were at middleweight. So hopefully he can get his diet serious and not have a devastating type of weight cut. But I'm going to pick him. I'm just worried about the weight. That's the only thing I'm a little shaky about, you know, for Chris Curtis. Action man, Curtis. I don't know, man. He trains with Sean Strickland. You know, he's not Sean Strickland level, obviously, but he does have very good boxing, and Max Griffin doesn't. I think he's going to be able to get the finish if he can get his diet under control. I don't think he's missed weight, so might not be an issue. It's just his chin. But Max Griffin has no power, so it's Chris Curtis. 2nd or 3rd round TKO for sure. Chidi Njokuani versus Jake Matthews. Both guys are kind of vets in the welterweight division. Chidi's been here for a long time. We know he's getting better. Jake Matthews has been here for a long time. He's getting better as well. I think Jake Matthews has has difficulty with range management. He's very hard for him to get into range. And I think Cheaty's going to be able to keep him on the end of his jabs and on the edge of his teeps. And Jake Matthews doesn't really throw caution to the wind that much. We don't see him just go for it. So with that being said, I don't think he's going to win this fight. I think Cheaty's going to be able to keep him at range, keep him at teep kicks up the middle, leg kicks on the outside, and just kind of tip-tap and win a decision. Probably a 29-28 decision over Jake Matthews. I just don't think he's that good, man. Unfortunately, Jake Matthews just isn't that good, and I think Cheaty's made a little bit more adjustments and has gotten better in his fighting style. Yeah. Lauren Murphy, Jesus Christ, where the fuck did they dig you up from? She looks like a corpse, man. I'm going with Eduarda Mora. Just because she's better looking. Walter Walker versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. Walter has no stand-up, but he has a better chin than his brother. Kennedy has no ground game. He has an okay ground game for heavyweight, but he doesn't have a ton of pop in his shots. Man, oh man. Can Walter get the submission early? That's the real question, you know. Can Walter get the submission early? I'm going to go with Kennedy Nzechukwu. I think he's going to be able to get this one done by decision. Basically just dominating on the feet. I think he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns and get smudged against the fence, get some space, and dominate on the feet. Yeah. Mitch Ramirez versus Mike Davis. Mike Davis is pretty good. Mitch Ramirez, I don't even know who this fucking guy is. I'm going with Mike Davis by fucking TKO. Fatima Klein versus Melissa Martinez. You know, both very highly looked at prospects for the women's strawweight bout. 8-1 for Melissa, 7-1 for Fatima. I'm looking forward to it. This one's a pick'em in my eyes. And plus 750. What the fuck? That's a big favorite. Okay, I guess Fatima Klein. Because she's the favorite. Till next time, like, comment, leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you're thinking about the card. If it's a good card, if it's a bad card, who's your main picks for the main card. If you disagree with me, great. Let me know why. Why the fuck is Derek Lewis still ranked at number 9? Heavyweight is so shallow. It is probably the worst division in the UFC right now, and I don't know if it'll ever get better, and that sucks for Tom Aspinall. I digress. Till next time.